2XKO is an incredibly fun game, but can feel extremely foreign and overwhelming at first for both brand new and even experienced fighting game players. Where am I? Oh god. As a competitive Street Fighter player, I initially struggled with these same issues when picking up the game, but I've cracked the code and now know how to cook. 2XKO is complex, but if you peel back the layers, there is a small core set of fundamental skills that can exponentially increase both your win rate and enjoyment of the game. We'll break down the 5 key elements to understand in order to level up your gameplay, but theory alone isn't enough, so stick to the end of each section for easy to follow drills to get you ready to competently play 2XKO fast. So the main thing to understand about 2XKO is that it is a chain-based input system. You have 5 attack buttons: light, medium, heavy, S1, and S2, and you're able to chain cancel into the next one. So Street Fighter players might be more familiar with a link-based system where you press one move, you wait for it to fully recover, and then you're able to press the next move in your combo or block string and have it come out. In this game, it's all like a target combo if you're familiar with Street Fighter. Light can cancel to medium, and medium can cancel to heavy, and there's actually a large cancel window. No matter what, if you just daisy chain it in, right? Light, medium, heavy, dial it in, it'll occur. I press these buttons really fast. They all just come out one after the other. But I can also stagger these button timings, and this is the whole mix-up of the game. You can keep the opponent guessing on when you're going to use what option, and that's what eventually leads them to being opened up because they're scared of you resetting your pressure and stealing turns, and they want to mash buttons to get you off of them. If they were to block forever, if you do your basic light, medium, heavy string, which is universal, and this is what you should memorize and get familiar with pressing: light, medium, heavy, that's fine if they just block it out. However, there is a chance that you can do light and then just dash up and grab. That's an incentive for them to challenge, because you can do that if they're blocking everything and just clamming up. But if I try to dash up jab here or dash up grab and they mash buttons, they're going to interrupt me and potentially get a full combo. So there's the potential mind game. What if they think I'm going to do dash up grab and they want to stop me? Well, why don't I just delay my button timing a little bit to bait out their button? They try to press a button there and I get a counter hit, and I can convert that counter hit to a combo. That's the basic strike throw mix that applies to 2XKO. It's about delaying, feeling the cancel window of the light, medium, heavy chain. Now, of course, you can extend this and keep your turn going for longer with assists. The basic assist extension is just light, medium, heavy, and assist. You just press it there to bring them back in. And once they get brought in, here with Blitzcrank, for example, I just press medium, heavy to keep the sequence going. Now, of course, other assists are going to have different effects, and there's also back assists, as well as neutral assist. So it's going to vary based on your character and your assist option. So figure out what assist works best for building these block strings. But generally, you're going to do something like light, medium, heavy assist, and then medium, heavy, basic block string. The main thing to wrap your head around is the assist should be treated like another attack button. So in this chain, I'm doing light, medium, heavy assist with the same tempo. And then I just visually confirm when the assist hits, and then I press medium, heavy. So you just have to loop this sequence to get your muscle memory around all these different moves and to just keep the flow of the gameplay going. It's very mind-bending for someone not used to assist. It took me a decent number of hours in training mode and in game to be able to pull off this basic string. So don't undersell this basic training here. This will help you really build that muscle memory. And once you have the assist involved, once again, you have the same variations to mix up your timing. So I can do this assist here, and then I can delay my timing here. The assist could even be used for a combo potentially. So you keep building these layers, and eventually your strings become more and more deadly and dangerous to the opponent. Another option for opening up the opponent is charged heavies. I really like this because it's easy to incorporate in this string. Charged heavies, if you hold the button, become really plus on block and also allow you to dash cancel to get in for more pressure. So if I dash cancel after it connects, I'm plus 31 there. So basically, it catches them asleep at the wheel and lets you extend your turn. Now, obviously, this could be parried or interrupted with a button. So if they're not scared of your other tighter strings, they're just going to interrupt your charge heavy attempt if you're close enough, right? But once again, if I don't charge the heavy, they will just get frame trapped, and you can get a combo from that. So they're not going to always know once you keep mixing them up what you're going to do. So if they're clamming up a lot, mix in the charge heavy, dash up, and then do your pressure string again. It's just another way to extend your turn and get more offense. The main takeaway from this is that when you're pressing buttons, you shouldn't be mashing through your sequence as fast as possible. The game is about timing each button press and paying attention to the defender, your opponent, and seeing what they're doing. Are they blocking this sequence? Are they getting hit? Are they mashing? Are they attempting to retreat and guard? Once you get into the more advanced mechanics, it should be an engaging game where you're paying attention and mixing up your timings and options of when you cancel each thing, and sometimes resetting for a throw, sometimes mixing in a charge heavy to dash in, sometimes resetting your strings with the assist, right? Once you get more and more fluid with feeling the inputs, you can keep stealing and resetting your pressure rather than autopiloting through this string and ending your turns as fast as possible and getting nothing from it. Main drill to practice here. You need to get used to the basic light, medium, heavy, assist timing, medium, heavy. This should just be something that you can do fluidly and keep them in a tight block string. You're going to set the dummy to block all under the bot setting to block settings always. And then under the reversal setting, you're going to set block recovery action to a light punch. And once you start making contact, it should just be a continuous string where no button comes out the entire time. And you can start getting more comfortable with adding extensions, mixing in special moves, but this is a basic string that should get you used to the input timing. Once you have that down, you're going to mix in delay timings and potentially try to convert. We haven't covered combos yet, but if you have a combo, you can try going for it here. And you're just going to work on building these blocks together, delay some timings here, and keep the conversions going. Keep your momentum going no matter what response the dummy does. We can keep building on top of this and add these do nothing options here. So if you turn on all these none options under block recovery, 4 out of the 5 times the dummy will do nothing but block, and 1 out of 5 the dummy will press light punch. So it makes it really rare when they're actually going to press the light punch option. So once we start doing that, we can mix in all these different variations and then just practice like keeping the offense going, reset if we need to. And the idea being, if they get hit at any point, you should try to convert to a combo. So keep looping this kind of pressure and sequencing and just get used to playing the game with an opponent who mostly blocks. See, every once in a while you're going to get hit. And just work on your pressure game. Now that you have your basic string with an assist included, it's time to add the active tag to the mix where things really start to melt the brain. So we go back to our light, medium, heavy assist string here. We can keep this going even further by doing an active tag. So the way active tag operates is after your assist comes out, you can actually tag into them once they're on screen, and that can happen very late after the assist. So the assist really kind of sits around. You can see Blitzcrank here is like laughing in the background. So while I'm doing all this, I can tag in really late before they fly off screen. So you have a lot of time to eventually input the active tag. So you control your point character for a while, and then when you're ready, you can then tag into the assist character. And this gets really complex. There's a lot of different opportunities for mix-up and reset and pressure with this mechanic. It's a really high-level mechanic to master, but for a basic sequence to get you started, we'll build on what we know. Light, medium, heavy assist, medium, heavy, tag. So the goal here is to keep the block string going. So I'm going to tag into a Blitzcrank here and dash up and do medium, heavy, S2 as a block string. The way I'm timing this is I press medium heavy with Darius, and then I immediately press the assist button. So the axe swing from the heavy punch is starting up, and I already tagged into Blitzcrank. And then I can dash at him during that time to keep the momentum going. So the main thing here is to just feel that rhythm of going medium heavy tag, and then dashing and immediately switching your focus to controlling Blitzcrank and continuing the pressure. This will be a brain bender for a while, right? This will mess you up if you're not used to this sort of mechanic, and it's okay. Just keep looping this kind of a sequence, and eventually you'll be able to confidently switch into your character. And this is the basic building block right here. This is what gets it all started to getting really complex combos, mix-ups, and applications of this handshake tag. Once you have that down, it's time for your first tag mix-up. It's going to be Baby's first active tag mix. So let's get an example going. So for the first mix, I'm going to be having the dummy do the sequence. I'm going to hold down back here, and you can see, boom, I get hit in the dome. Active tag mix to overhead. So this is basically doing your light, medium, heavy string to an S2 extension to the assist. So once you master that assist timing, all you have to do is press overhead and then active tag right out. You have to time this so that the overhead hits first. So it's down forward medium with Darius, and then you tag out and you can get a combo with your assist character. And this is actually, you know, hitting overhead and forcing me to stand if I want to block this. However, of course, there is a mix-up here. So in this variation, I'm going to hold back instead, predicting the overhead. And you see I get hit low. Spooky. Is this an unblockable? Not quite. You see, the rule here is you need to block the point character. So in this example where it actually hits low, I'm tagging right before the overhead hits and then going into Blitzcrank and going low. So yes, it looks like that overhead is on screen, but whenever the assist character is tagged out, all their attacks lose their high-low properties. They're all just mid attacks, can be blocked either way. So in this instance, I fake you out with the overhead animation and go low with Blitzcrank before the overhead even hits, making it a low. Now, of course, there could be some gnarly situation where they hit really close to each other. And in this case, you can see on the bottom left, it gives me that protected notification. So if you time this mix so that it hits too close to the same frame, the game has unblockable protection. So there'll never be a true mix-up. So a true unblockable, rather. So the main idea of using this yourself is to go for the overhead and then immediately tag out. Or if you want to mix them up low, tag early and go low with it, right? You need to get familiar with that timing. But this is like baby's first mix-up with active tag. It incorporates your block string, it incorporates the active tagging, and incorporates an actual mix-up. So if you can get your hands to loop this sequence, you're well on your way to getting to more advanced techniques. Now let's get into some basic combo structures. Universally, light, medium, heavy, down heavy, launcher, and to like jump medium heavy into either S2 or S1 is going to be fairly universal. So with Darius, light, medium, heavy, down heavy is your launcher. And once you do down heavy, you're going to hold up forward to chase them up in the air. And then when you get to the air, you can press medium, heavy. And with Darius, it's just S2. So this is a really basic combo conversion, and it's fairly universal across most of the cast. With Blitzcrank, for example, it would be light, medium, heavy, down heavy, which causes the launcher, up forward, medium, heavy, and for him, I will do S1 to bring them down and end the combo. Now, generally, once that's done, most characters have a super. It's either going to be with your S1 and a button or S2 with a button, your super 1 or super 2, and you'll see what super connects in that situation. Many characters have a super that will hit on the ground, like in this situation. With Blitzcrank, that's S1, and same thing with Darius and his same combo structure ender here. It would be S1 in this situation as well. This is all fairly universal. To get into more advanced combos, just like your block strings, the way the combo system works is based on your delay timings. So with Blitzcrank, for example, after I get this launcher, he has this whole relaunch sequence that you can access. And the secret to the relaunch is doing a delay on that last jump heavy punch. It's a real minor delay, but that allows the opponent to then fall low enough to hit the down heavy launcher if you time it correctly. So getting that launcher at the end requires a very tiny delay from the down heavy to the jump heavy in that combo sequence to make it work. Of course, there's also assist extensions, which can either be used to extend combos or to help pick up awkward hits. It's going to be very team specific. So like a basic example here would be light, medium, heavy into forward S2 with Blitzcrank. This is a good conversion when spaced out because my launcher can't reach from that range, right? My basic combo that I taught you doesn't work. So how do I pick that up? Well, I can do forward S2 to my back assist with Darius here, and that actually pops up the opponent. And then I can do a launcher and go back to my basic combo. So that's one basic assist extension, kind of like your block string timing. So if you find one with your team, you can practice this, but this is a little bit more advanced for beginners, but definitely worth looking into in the future. This is generally the secret of more advanced combo conversions that you're going to see in this game. It's all about manipulating the timing to either allow the opponent to fall lower or using certain moves that knock them up higher to get the right juggle heights to get these combos going. So that's going to be what you're going to look into as you learn more advanced combo routes, and that's how the combo routing system works if you're not familiar with how combos in a tag game like this kind of operate. The other thing to understand is the more hits you do, there's going to be more hits done scaling. So things that would normally combo in the beginning of a combo As you go much later on in the combo, they stop being able to connect because the hit stun, the property that keeps them locked into place. See there, my medium to heavy doesn't combo. I did too many hits before going for that sequence, and you can see in the training mode it says hit stun scaling has increased. So you'll learn over time when to start ending your combos and how to end them early enough so that you don't run out of hit stun scaling, which would prevent you to make your next move connect. That is the basis of the combo system. If you want basic B&Bs for all the characters, SageN put out a really good guide going over just basic combos for every character. As a beginner, these advanced rules will come way down the road. I just wanted to give you a preview of how the combo system works. All you need is a basic light, medium, heavy, down heavy launcher, medium heavy into S1 or S2. And then if you got that super, go ahead and tack on that super at the end as well. Very easy B&B, and this will be what you lead into from your basic block string conversions. Basic drill to work on your basic combo conversions. The setting you want under bots is to have the block setting set to after first hit. So if I don't properly time my light, medium, heavy, I put too much of a delay, they'll start blocking here. So you want to see this basic combo connect all the way and just loop this, just get familiar with the timing and even start delay canceling, especially on like the heavier hits. You'll be surprised how much time you have to hit confirm essentially. Like I can really delay from stand heavy, my crouch heavy. You don't have to rush these always as fast as possible. You have to go faster from the lights, but once you get into a heavy, man, you have some time. Same thing with Darius here, for example. Can't delay that much, but potentially you got time from the heavy. Get a good feel for how slow and methodical you can take these combos and understand the hit stun and get a feel for timing your buttons without rushing. Next, once you're comfortable with that combo conversion, it's time to bring it all together. We're going to go ahead and turn on all of these different settings we had in training mode. So we're going to have the reversal section on here for after block, turn on the light punch option and the none for the other four. And also on bots, you can do things like turn the block setting on to random. And now time to do your block strings and then work on conversion. So I got the hit there. I'm going to go into my launcher, do a basic B&B, right? So just loop these kind of sequences. Use the assist to pick up. I'm doing a bit slightly more advanced combos. You can keep it a lot more simple if you want and just do a basic B&B. Oh, see there, I'm going to keep my pressure going like I practiced before with the active tag. They blocked it all out. They just get hit. Just go to your launcher and do your basic medium heavy into special move. They're blocking here, so I'm calling the assist. You know, mix in your options, right? Just get familiar with pressing these buttons. Good blocks from the dummy there. And then when you get the hit, convert. Looping a sequence like this with this system will greatly speed up your rate of learning the muscle memory and quickly applying this into real matches. Now, all the block string training and combo training doesn't matter if you actually can't land a hit in neutral, and the neutral game is played a lot differently. Here's where having a dash macro really comes in handy. You absolutely want to have this button bound to something so you can dash and move around the screen. You're going to be wanting to move in and out of range and faking out where you are on screen to bait out button presses and make the opponent try to check your movement. They might swing a button thinking you're going to dash in, and that's when you dash back and you actually end up with punishing them instead. Or you do dash all the way in and go for a throw. It's kind of a game of chicken between you and the opponent with this sort of movement option baiting each other out. Then of course you have options like jump heavy and even charge jump heavies for even more additional block stun, right? So a common option is to like backdash out of range, jump back in, catch them sleeping, convert to a full combo. Once you add assists to the mix, it becomes a lot more complex. A common strategy is to simply do a forward advancing special move. So something like Darius S2 plus assist there, that's an option. Maybe I can do one with Blitzcrank here. I'll do like forward S2 in the air here, and then I'll just call my Darius assist right after. If it hits them, I can get a combo, and if they happen to block, I can get in for pressure. So kind of a shortcut to neutral right there. Lets you get in. Now, if you have a really strong assist like Blitzcrank, you can kind of just hold your ground out here, maybe throw some projectiles, and then after you do an action, call the assist, right? It can really help throw off the opponent and keep them mixed up. He also has back assist, which calls out the air. So while you control the ground, you can call the back assist from Blitzcrank to get the air going. And then once you actually call them, if you need to get out of that situation, you can active tag to your assist back here and cover for your point character. But you really want to mix in your options of using your assist to cover you while you do some kind of advancing move, or covering your assist while they try to cover the ground for you. Now on the defending end, anti-airs in this game are pretty good, man. Like the 2H, really strong option. So after you're moving around, if you see the opponent jump at you, 2H and then hold up forward to get the combo going. You can stop a lot of aggressive approaches just by just being ready to anti-air. Anti-airs will actually go get you really far in this game. So 2H is a universal option, holding down and heavy to hit the opponent. And then once you press the button, hold up forward and get your basic medium heavy special combo conversion, end it in your super, and get some damage for an opponent being aggressive with their jumps. Now, if you're trying to check the opponent's movement in neutral as well, one thing to keep in mind, especially if you're a Street Fighter player, is the lights in this game have really short range. So like, even if you try to check someone for like approaching at you, your lights can just whiff or like not really convert. So like, they're good buttons when challenging up close, but in a lot of situations, man, the lights just don't do it like they would in a Street Fighter title. Your best option for most characters is medium. Medium is the go-to button for challenging on both defense usually and in neutral. So if you're trying to catch someone's movement, you often want to do something like press a medium and then chain that to your heavy and then call your assists to pick it up. Go into your block string training when you finally try to check their movement and use those mechanics to keep things going, and then make it your turn when it was their turn originally. So one option for practicing neutral is to just play the game a lot more and pay attention to how you're moving around the screen and when you're calling your assist. But also you can theoretically play the CPU. It's not bad. I suggest turning the ult meter settings to normal and the break meter settings to normal and the basic settings so that they're not just constantly spamming supers. And then you can turn the CPU up to like level 6 or higher. I mean, even level 8 CPU is pretty good. And then you just play the game. And then, you know, if they try to do something crazy, you do your anti-air assists, you throw your fireball, and you play the game, right? If they try to jump at you, use your own 2H, get your block strings going, use your assist. I think it's just pretty good practice overall, just to move around and get familiar with the game, learn when to jump in, learn when to get your combo conversions. So I don't think it's a terrible idea to play against the CPU to practice, especially getting familiar with pressing the buttons in the right sequence. One thing to understand about defense in this game is that blocking is kind of good at lower level in the sense that throws aren't really a looping offensive situation for the most part. At higher level, the main idea is to just avoid being in a bad situation by winning neutral and not being forced to block, because the mix-ups do get grimy, not gonna lie. But generally, there's no throw loops. Now, there is a lot of throw protection on Wake Up. Funny enough, Darius is a character who can get throw looped, I believe, but other characters, if they wake up mashing light, they'll actually interrupt a throw loop sequence. So it's not really part of the game. Also, there's not really block strings into throws in that kind of sense. Like, you're not going to have a true tick throw. So it can happen occasionally, but for the most part, people are going to have to like dash up and try to reset the situation to get a throw. So buttons will beat those kind of attempts most of the time. But in general, defensively, you're going to want to block low, just like a Street Fighter title, and react to the overhead. That's the general theme of how blocking works. And look out for the assist call and the active tag. It gets really confusing once the opponent starts using a lot of active tags, right? Like, you start getting mixed up on who is what character. You'll have the arrows above the opponent's head if they're tagging characters to let you know which one is the point character. That can help you give a visual indicator. But you're looking to block the point character and learn the moves that they're using and react to those accordingly. Now, of course, it's always good to try to check reset pressure. Generally, you can press lights if they're kind of far away, if they're kind of up close rather. But like I said, even in this situation, if the opponent mashes a light here, I can just reset my pressure and the lights just have no range. So I think a common trap I fell into was trying to check pressure with gaps with lights. It is good occasionally, but really you're going to want to use a lot of mediums to interrupt people from resetting their pressure, because the lights just do not have range, and the mediums and heavy have such absurd range compared to like a normal 2D fighter. So you're going to want to use a lot of mediums when trying to challenge people from overextending and from keeping their offense going if they leave gaps in it. Mediums are the way. Mashing lights will often leave you very upset when it whiffs and they kill you instead. So to practice defense, I recommend, of course, playing the game for real, but also, once again, playing against the CPU. You're going to want to look for throw techs by looking for dash ups, and generally that's when you're going to have your fingers hovering over medium and heavy to tech the throw. And see there, I just teched that throw right there by seeing that Blitzcrank ran at me. This will help you practice your neutral as well. And then you're going to practice just blocking the character. The CPU likes to go for a lot of grabs, but in general, it'll help you work on just being aware of what's going on screen. And eventually you can work in things like using parries or other options, knowing when to take your turn back in their strings as well. Seeing how to deal with this kind of a situation in the corner. So keep playing the CPU, keep playing real matches, and look to actively block and throw tech when appropriate. Those are the basic building blocks I think every 2XKO beginner needs to start playing the game competently. It's critically important to get a good feel for the chain cancel system and learn how to structure your combos, your block strings, and your mix-ups, and just really feel how the offensive flow works even with the basic mechanics. Once you have a solid understanding of those systems and inputs and can feel the muscle memory entering your hands, you can then look into understanding more advanced mechanics like on defense using parry, retreating guard, and push block. Also using tech roll and wake up attack when you get knocked down. And then on offense, how to beat those things, like using your low strings to counter retreating guard, looking for the push block and then countering with your own assist, and of course chasing down tech rolls with throws to punish and baiting out these wake up attacks. This game is very deep and has a ton of mechanics, so it's a long journey, but with these basic building blocks, I'm sure you're on the road to success. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Peace.